way. I want to thank, certainly, Elizabeth. I wanted to thank AFF for the opportunity to come out and roast certainly one of my favorite people in the world. Absolutely one of my favorite people in the world. Professor Antony Davies, Dr. Antony Davies. And, you know, when given the opportunity to come out and roast Dr. Davies, I jumped at it just like that. Absolutely. Immediately. Who wouldn't? Right? Absolutely. And then, you know, I sat down to actually try and come up with something, and I realized somehow you're dynamic, but you're just so goddamn plain. You're really plain. I mean, if it was, you know, James Harrigan over here who were roasting, right, that'd be a lot easier. I mean, like, you know, Harrigan and Saddam Hussein are like the only two people who've ever enjoyed living in Iraq. You know, in case you guys don't know, he's speaking next, and James Harrigan is in charge of directing the economics senior thesis students this semester. He runs the class and directs the writing and such. And he's a political scientist by trade, which by my calculation gets him one step away from being Paul Krugman. But the problem is I don't know which way that step is. So it's kind of like we got Krugman kind of leading our students, which I know would upset Professor Davies. And what I keep hearing about Harrigan, he'd come to campus previously and done writing seminars. And Harrigan, the Harrigan thing is he keeps getting clean writing from our students. Clean writing, that's the adjective, right? Clean writing. I think I keep on mishearing it, because I think it's Mr. Clean getting writing from our students, right? I think that's kind of what it is. I was anticipating having dinner with Ant's fantastic wife, Christina. She wasn't able to make it tonight, and I was looking forward to at least saying something about that, because, you know, if it was Christina was the one that we were roasting, at least we'd be getting to roast the smart one in the relationship, right? You know, Antony Davies can't publish an op-ed in the New York Times without his wife helping him out, so that's kind of, I was kind of looking forward to roasting her as well, and actually, Ant and Harrigan and myself, our department chair is actually here tonight. Professor Marlin's right there in the back. Wave, come on, wave, say hi. I can tell you what to do for 5 seconds, right? Wave. And I mean, you know, if Marlin was the one we were roasting, right, I mean, how easy would that be as well? Right? I mean, Marlin's the only one that can teach the history of economic thought by experience. Right? I mean, Marlin's so old that Adam Smith cited him. But we're left to roasting Antony Davies, and that's the task at hand. And I guess it's, you know, I guess it makes sense, because, you know, people like talk about, you know, economics as being the dismal science. I mean, what more perfect person to capture than Antony Davies, right? I mean, the dismal science, I don't know, let's get mildly inappropriate, I guess. What's the difference between Antony Davies and Rob Ford? At least Rob Ford admits where he gets all his energy from. Gotta laugh. Alright, well, what Antony Davies and Rob Ford have in common? Both don't like it when the government stops them from doing what they want to be doing. And, you know, Ant, especially over the last few years, I really feel like, especially over the last couple of years, Antony Davies has become quite the policy pundit, or quite the policy writer over the last few years. And you know, being someone that does policy, I think it's really important that you create this dialogue with the public and be very, you know, embracing of the public and being someone that the public can come to easily. And, you know, I think Antony Davies, you know, it's how much more open to the public can you be than doing academic papers and being open to non-economists writing papers with the titles of, for example, a framework for decomposing shocks and measuring volatilities derived from multidimensional penalty and certain forecasts. It just brings people in the world of economics, right? And that's just got to get them right from the get-go. But you know, when we write about the policy's perspective, and it's kind of from the free market kind of perspective, you know, we like to channel Milton Friedman, right? I mean, that's kind of like the gold standard when it comes to kind of free market economics or doing policy from free market economics. And you know, I feel like Ant does do a really good job of channeling Milton Friedman. You know, the entirety of Milton Friedman, except that one part where people actually like listen to what you say and what you have to do, and policy actually following what you say if you do a good job, except for that one kind of part right there. You know, before I knew Ant, I never thought I'd have to give a confidence interval when I was talking about tomorrow's weather. But Ant's real big on kind of being precise. You know, if you've ever received a 3-word response after you wrote a 5-page email, you've probably never written Antony Davies before. It's real good at just kind of taking your hour of work and saying, all right, just stop bothering me. What else we got here? You know, Antony Davies is a phenomenal teacher of economics. He's the best teacher of economics, certainly, at Duquesne University, if not in this country. And he's passionate about teaching, and students love him. But not everyone gets the opportunity to take a class from him, right? which would be unfortunate because people don't know how fantastic he really is in class. Well, Ant's actually solved that problem. He actually has taken the average student evaluation score of every single class he's taught and taped it right on his door. Right on his door. You can go look at it yourself. I mean, modesty, right? I mean, how modest, who does that, right? Who takes that? Who does that? Donald Trump is more modest than that, right? He took the average scores and puts them right up there. I find that absolutely amazing. It's still up there. He updates it too. Absolutely ridiculous. So I was thinking about, well, how could it be that Davies gets such good evaluations? I mean, you know, students are tough. It's kind of like a black box. You feel like you can do really well. Sometimes they might give you good evaluations. Sometimes it might be bad. But I think I finally figured it out. I think this is how he does it. First, he doesn't give a lot of written exams in his classes. He requires them to come into his office and actually do oral exams, face to face. So I think when you combine that with the fact that in plain view in his office, he has a sword clearly mounted right there on the wall. I think sword plus having to be there and him almost together, I think that gets students wanting to say he's doing a pretty good job, lest they have to deal with the consequences of that. What else we got here? If you've never seen it in equation form, why the route you chose to take to walk across campus was wrong, you probably haven't talked to Antony Davies. But you know what, at the end of all of this, I think what wraps it all together is, you know, to me, I think Ant's life and his family's life to a larger extent, I think it almost captures, it's almost like an economics textbook. It's like he's like a living textbook when it comes out. It's just like listing all the different ways. So let me see if I can't figure that out. So as Erica said, Aunt Christina has 6 wonderful children, and he likes to break them up into pairs, right? So he's got the oldest ones, so it's the majors and the minors and the middles, right? He like breaks them up into pairs, right? Which, you know, right there from the get-go, you know, it's kind of like market segmentation. So that's kind of like, there's the econ kind of subject right there. You know, it's like you almost expect his children to complain to like the FTC for like their like family practices or something, right? Break them up market segmentation-wise. While we're on the subject of Ant's children, and you heard Erica speak, if you've never felt inferior talking to a 6-year-old, you haven't spent any time like around the Davies family. Very, very impressive kids, even the little ones. It's like, wow, it's like this big talk down. It's like they're very, not talk down, it's not, they're smart, all of them, remarkably smart. Their family picture, there's 6 kids and 2 of them. It's like, you ever want to look at a picture of like 8 people that are far, far smarter than you. It's just like, look at the Davies family picture. Go back to the textbooks here. So I guess when it comes to chores, I've been told they assign more than children. So right there, that's like division of labor and property rights, pseudo-property rights, if you will. So there's some more econ topics for you right there. And then the children promptly turn around, and I've heard that they will take chores and transact with each other. So maybe buy and sell some chores, or trade some chores. Maybe there's some, you know, exchange of this or that. So the Davies family is like a case study in self-contracting. So we can kind of, there's another textbook kind of topic right there. And just to be clear, the last 3 sentences I just said, the Davies family captured the basically gist of the research of 2 Nobel Prize winners and Adam Smith. So this is like the life that like the Davies clan kind of leads here. How else is Davies like an economics textbook here? Every time I'm done talking with Dan, I feel like I've incurred a substantial sum cost. Just a little bit more here. Economics, so Ant teaches econometrics, forecasting. Basically, econometrics is a way of looking at real-world data and trying to find relationships between variables. The big thing that we like to say with regards to econometrics is correlation doesn't mean causation, right? Just because you find a relationship between something doesn't mean one thing's causing the other in this situation. Well, it's unfortunate because Ant's got like the best ever personal example of correlation actually leading to causation, because the correlation's there. The more you write on bets, the less people read newspapers. It's right there. It's perfect. I mean, it's right there. And let's see, the last one here for this, Jesus. So Ant, at one point, we used to play racquetball quite a bit, and I remember we were talking about wherever we talked about when we were up there, and we got talking somehow about whether he and Christina back in the day, when they first knew each other, and we're getting married, we're going to have a family. How many kids we're going to have? Were they going to have kids? Anything like that. And let me ask you this, when it comes to an economic textbook relationship. How is it, or give me another explanation, for how you can go from no kids to 6 kids, other than an explanation of unintended consequences? That's all I'd say about that. But we love Antony Davies so much. I mean, the work he does for liberty, the work he does for markets, it's important, and it's inspiring. It makes me want to do more of that as well. I mean, Davies loves liberty so much, he makes, you know, Patrick Henry look like a communist. loves liberty more than anything out there. And I guess what I'll end with, the best thing I could say is, kind of always like view Antony as like the MacGyver of economics, right? So you give him like a toothpick and some duct tape and like a, you know, like a spool of thread, and like somehow show that the market comes out on top like every time. Right? So, Andy Davies, let's hear it from him.